No, I think you're up. Sorry.
The Honourable Ruth Dyson.
It's a pleasure to take a call on this, but it was a bit of a tragedy to have to curtail my colleague who was just warming up to the subject. Mr. Chairman, I want to begin by acknowledging the 3 significant days of quakes that we've had in Canterbury over the last 12 months, September and February and then June, and particularly acknowledge the tragic loss that so many of our citizens have endured, loss of lives, loss of limbs, of homes, of jobs, and sometimes all 4 within one family. We have a strength and resilience in Canterbury that we're very proud of, but I do think that some people have had to endure a lot more than other people really understand. So I want to pay a tribute to those people who have gone through that and started rebuilding their lives again. We have had horrendously hard times behind us, and I think we're going to have hard times ahead of us as well. But our communities are strong, our communities are passionate, and they are certainly committed to a recovery. The key to a successful recovery, and this I suppose could be taken as advice to the Minister or a general comment, but I'm sure he understands it and doesn't need reminding of it, but I think it's important to put it on the record that the key to a successful recovery is harnessing the strength and the passion of our communities and turning that into a genuine contribution about what our city and our region, what our suburbs will look like, will feel like, what we will do in them in the future. Because if people see the devastation but feel as if they have had their voice heard in the recovery of our city, particularly in what happens in our communities, they've had an opportunity to say, we might have lost that, but actually it wasn't as good as we would have liked it anyway. We want to do something better, and here are the sparks that will set us alight again. Those people will remain committed to our region. I'm concerned that at the moment the only thing that is holding many people in our cities is the lack of a payout from EQC or their insurance company. And once they get that payout, they might just say, thanks very much, I'm out of here. We don't want to lose our skilled people from our region. We need them now more than ever. So ensuring that they're part of the recovery is also a very important part of keeping them there. The critical part of harnessing that passion and that strength and turning it into a contribution is giving people information. Sometimes it's hard, and I've heard the Minister explain the dilemma, and I agree with him that it is really hard to pick the right time for sharing information, because often you'll feel, and of course it may be true, that as soon as you tell the people what information you know, they want to know the answer to a question that you don't have. Well, it's my strongly held view that we should do that anyway. We should tell people what we know as we know it, and if they ask a question that we don't have the answer to, you say we don't know the answer to that yet, and they'll get a little bit frustrated at that, but they won't feel as disempowered as many currently do. Many people who don't have the information about what happened to their land, who don't understand the process that caused the liquefaction and the silt to destroy their suburb, who don't understand the land movement, who don't understand the rockfall risk or what's happened to our cliffs. There are a whole lot of questions that are unanswered for people, and we could provide that information, in my view, in a much clearer way than we have to date. So there will be questions that the Minister doesn't have answers for yet. I think that's entirely acceptable. You can't tell people what you don't know, but I would really urge you, Minister, to share as much as possible with everyone in our shared community of Canterbury the information that you do have. People feel stronger for knowing what is happening in the area. Information is empowering. And knowing that somebody else has information that isn't shared with you is very frustrating and disempowering. We have the opportunity now to share that information, to give people that power that information gives them. We have the opportunity to harness that passion and commitment to our communities, which is so evident in things week in, week out that we see, and make a really
Honourable
successful
Dyson.
recovery to our region.
The Honourable Leanne Dalzell.